The miracle you have waited for so long is drawing near. But before you receive it, you need to understand that a gift from heaven is not given to nourish haste, fear, or dependence within you. I am calling you to pause today, not to threaten that grace will be taken away merely because you scroll past a message, but to remind you that some precious things become complete only when you are quiet enough to recognize their true meaning. My beloved child, this encounter may have come at the very moment when your heart is weary, when you have waited for so long that you no longer dare to hope as you once did. I know there have been days when you wondered whether your prayers could pass through the silence and whether your hidden tears had been seen. Today, I want you to know that nothing sincere you have lifted toward heaven has been lost, and no pain you have endured has been entirely meaningless. What is coming to you is not merely an outward change, nor is it a reward given because you reacted quickly to a message. The deepest miracle sometimes begins with a very gentle movement within. Suddenly, you no longer desire to return to the place that once wounded you. You become courageous enough to refuse what no longer belongs in your life, or you recognize that you are worthy of a more peaceful existence. Perhaps today you felt a gentle stirring, as though your heart wanted to pause amid all the demands of life and listen. That feeling does not need to be explained through mysterious things that leave you confused. Sometimes it is simply the wise part of you awakening after being hidden for a long time beneath noise, pressure, and judgment. I am touching you through that peace, reminding you that the old season has already taught you enough, and you do not need to keep suffering merely to prove your loyalty. I, Michael, have stood beside you through the seasons when you believed you had to fight alone. I saw every time you made an effort without receiving recognition, every moment when you gave with all your heart and received only indifference in return, and every night when you quietly tried to mend the parts of yourself that had been wounded. You have endured more than others could ever see. But endurance is not your final destiny. I do not want you to make pain your permanent home. I want it to become a bridge leading you toward deeper understanding, where you learn to protect yourself without closing your heart, to love without losing your boundaries, and to forgive without returning to the cycles that once exhausted you. Heaven's approval is not an invisible certificate declaring that everything you desire will instantly appear. It is the affirmation that you have the right to move forward, the right to begin again, and the right to receive what is good without feeling guilty. Yet there is still something hidden beneath the surface that you need to discover. The gift you have been waiting for cannot be completed if you carry old beliefs about yourself into the new season. If deep within you still believe that you must suffer in order to deserve love, that you must please everyone in order to be accepted, or that you must hold tightly to people who do not value you in order to avoid loneliness, then, even when the new door opens, you may lead yourself back into the old room. This is the hidden message. A miracle does not only change your circumstances, it requires you to be willing to become a new person in the way you think, choose, and treat yourself. What you once prayed for may already be very close, but you need enough maturity not to destroy it through fear, suspicion, or the habit of diminishing your own worth. You do not need to perform an action on a screen to activate grace. The love of heaven cannot be purchased through likes, comment, or any hurried ritual. What needs to be activated is your courage. Open your heart with sincerity, not with anxiety that your blessing will disappear if you are slow to respond. Demonstrate your readiness through the way you live. Keep the promises you have made. Treat others with kindness. Stop feeding resentment. Bring order to the things that have become chaotic. And walk away from whatever continually pulls you away from peace. When you act with wisdom, you create space for what is good to enter. When you stop clinging to what has expired, you are not losing anything. You are freeing your hands to receive what is more suitable. When you stop begging others to confirm your worth, you will begin to notice doors you once lacked the courage to enter. In the hours when the world becomes quiet, you often believe that no one knows what you are going through. Yet it is precisely within that stillness that the most important decisions can be formed. You do not need to see a scroll opened before you, nor do you need an exact hour to prove that you have been heard. True change often begins when you awaken with a new realization. You no longer want to live as you once did. Perhaps on an ordinary morning, you suddenly understand that you can no longer postpone caring for yourself. Perhaps in the middle of the night, you recognize that a relationship ended within your heart a long time ago. Perhaps in a moment of stillness, you hear, "My reminder clearly, you have endured enough. Now it is time to rise." That is the moment when the light shifts within you quietly, yet powerfully enough to change the entire direction of what lies ahead. God does not impose conditions to test whether you can discover a hidden code. What He desires is that you understand the lesson concealed within the journey you have already traveled. You have learned that not every delay is a rejection. Some things arrive later because you need to be prepared to preserve them. You have learned that loneliness is not always a punishment. Sometimes it is a quiet space that helps you recognize who truly belongs in your life. You have learned that a closed door does not always mean failure. At times, it is protection from a path whose full consequences you could not yet see. Above all, you are learning that your value does not depend upon whether someone chooses to remain or leave. When these lessons take root, the miracle finally has a place where it can remain. Therefore, do not rush after every outward sign and forget to listen to the peace within. What belongs to you will not need to use fear to force you to receive it. True guidance may cause you to become serious, but it will not drive you into panic. It makes your mind clearer, your heart steadier, and your steps more ordered. If a message makes you believe that only a few seconds remain for you to be saved, pause and remember that the love of heaven does not operate like a countdown clock. You are responsible for your choices, but you are not being pursued by one who is merely waiting for you to make a mistake so that he can withdraw grace. He patiently guides you, corrects you, and gives you many opportunities to return to what is right. Today, your miracle may begin through a healed conversation, an unexpected opportunity, a solution you never considered, or a door opening after many months of silence. Yet it may also begin through one very simple decision. You will no longer betray yourself in order to hold on to something that does not belong to you. I want you to prepare through gratitude rather than entitlement, through discipline rather than haste, and through awakened faith rather than blind belief. Care faithfully for what is already in your hands before asking for more. Be honest about your feelings, but do not allow your emotions to rule every decision. Open the door to what is new, but preserve your discernment so that you do not mistake an opportunity for temptation wearing beautiful clothing. My beloved child, the hidden message does not vanish after a few moments. It will remain within you until you are ready to live according to what you have understood. The miracle has been confirmed, not because of an outward ritual, but because you have reached the point where the past can no longer hold you as it once did. Now move forward in peace. Do not make yourself small before the new door. Do not distrust everything good merely because you were once wounded. Do not return to the old place simply because freedom still feels unfamiliar. I am beside you, not to pressure you, but to protect and guide you. What is meant for you will arrive in the right way. And when it comes, you will realize that the greatest gift is not only what you receive, but also the steady, wise, and loving person you became during the time of waiting. If you believe that invisible burdens are gradually leaving your body, write 1111 as an affirmation that you are ready to receive healing and enter the season of renewal I am opening before you. Some tensions have remained within you for so long that you began to believe they were a natural part of life. There are worries quietly hidden beneath your smile, memories you tried to forget, and wounds you buried deeply because you did not want to face them again. But my beloved child, what has been hidden has not necessarily disappeared. It may remain still for a while and then reveal itself through exhaustion, sleepless nights, unexplained anxiety, or sudden sadness that leaves you confused about what you are experiencing. When old emotions return, do not immediately assume that you have gone back to the beginning. They are not rising to imprison you again, but to be acknowledged, healed, and finally released from you. I am not bringing pain back to make you collapse. I am not reopening old doors so that you must relive the days that once bent your heart under their weight. I am only bringing light into the place you once had to lock away because you were not yet strong enough to face it. At that time, you did everything you could to keep moving forward. You hid your tears, swallowed the words you wanted to speak, told yourself that you had to remain strong, and carried what had not been healed into every stage that followed. I do not condemn you for that. Sometimes, setting a wound aside for a while is the very way you survive a season that is too heavy to bear. But today, now that you have gained greater strength, I am gently calling those hidden parts out of darkness, not so that they can rule you, but so that you can look directly at them and say, "This once caused me pain, but it no longer has the authority to define me." Therefore, you may feel your body changing in ways that are difficult to explain. On some days, you may need more rest. At times, you may want to withdraw from noise. Places that once felt familiar may suddenly become suffocating. Do not immediately interpret this as weakness. Your body has carried too much pressure for too long, and now it is learning how to release what is no longer necessary. Like someone who has carried a heavy bag upon their shoulders for years, setting it down may make them feel so light that the sensation itself seems unfamiliar. You are the same. You became accustomed to living under tension, so peace may sometimes confuse you. You became accustomed to remaining on guard. So, even when danger is gone, you may still unconsciously wait for something bad to happen. But I am teaching your whole being that the old season of battle cannot continue forever. This change is also revealing itself through the way you view relationships, words, and the environments around you. Things you once tolerated no longer feel acceptable. Words that once caused you to diminish yourself now help you recognize that you deserve to be treated with respect. Conversations filled with negativity, relationships that only take from you, and places where you must make yourself smaller are gradually becoming unfamiliar. You may worry that you are becoming distant or overly sensitive. But I want you to understand that awakening is not harshness. When you are healed, you will no longer regard as normal the things that once harmed you. When you understand your worth, you will stop calling disrespect love, control concern, and exhaustion sacrifice. I am refining your awareness. You are beginning to distinguish between what brings peace and what merely creates temporary excitement. You are recognizing that not every open door should be entered. Not every invitation is right for you. And not everyone who appears friendly has the right to enter deeply into your life. This discernment has not come to make you suspicious of everyone. It has come to help you love while maintaining boundaries. Give generously without emptying yourself. And listen to others without losing the voice within you. You do not need to become cold in order to be safe. You only need to become wiser about what you allow to remain close to you. There are times when you look at yourself and no longer recognize the person you once were. Your interests are changing. Old goals no longer attract you. And conversations that once excited you now leave you feeling empty. You may wonder whether you are losing your direction or gradually moving away from everything that once felt familiar. But my beloved child, you are not losing yourself. You are simply leaving behind a version of yourself that has completed its purpose. The person you once were helped you survive difficult days. But not every way of living that once protected you is suitable for the place where I am now leading you. The defenses that once kept you from being wounded may become walls that prevent you from receiving healthy love. Handling everything alone may once have helped you remain standing, but it may also make it difficult for you to trust and accept support. I am not taking anything truly precious away from you. I am only removing layers that were formed through fear, scarcity, and the words others once spoke over you. Your kindness will remain, but it will no longer be accompanied by allowing others to take advantage of you. Your compassion will remain, but you will understand that forgiveness does not require reopening every door. Your strength will remain, but it will no longer need to prove itself by silently enduring everything. The most beautiful things within you are not being lost. On the contrary, as the burdens are laid down, your pure nature will become more visible, no longer hidden beneath the need to please others, the fear of abandonment, or the belief that you must constantly prove your worth. Beneath the movements you are feeling, a quiet strengthening is taking place. You may not yet recognize how far you have come because you are still viewing yourself through memories of your weakest days. But I see perseverance taking deeper root within you. I see that you no longer collapse as easily beneath someone's judgment. I see that you can pause before reacting. Choose peace instead of entering an argument, and leave a place that no longer fits without creating a battle. Things that once kept you awake for many nights no longer possess the same power. It is not because they have completely disappeared, but because you no longer hand them the key to control your emotions. New strength does not always appear through great actions. Sometimes it is simply waking up after a difficult day and still choosing to treat yourself gently. Sometimes it is refusing to return to a relationship that repeatedly caused you pain. At times, strength means asking for help instead of continuing to pretend that everything is fine. At other times, it is the ability to sit quietly without immediately seeking approval from anyone. I am building within you a foundation that does not depend upon whether others understand, agree, or remain. When that foundation becomes firm, storms outside may cause you to sway for a moment, but they will no longer easily knock you down. Be patient with your body and emotions during this season. Do not force yourself to become a new person overnight. True restoration unfolds layer by layer, breath by breath, and choice by choice. Some days you may feel filled with hope, while on other days, old memories may leave you weary. That does not mean the process has failed. A wound that is healing may still hurt when touched. What matters is that you are no longer running away from yourself. You are learning to sit beside the parts that remain weak. Listen to them gently, and place them in my hands instead of condemning yourself for not yet being perfect. My beloved child, what is leaving you cannot accompany you into the road ahead. The fear that once made you withdraw will no longer fit the wide door opening before you. The insecurity that once caused you to accept less than you deserved cannot govern the new season. The wounds that once made you view everyone with suspicion will gradually lose their power as you understand that not everyone comes to hurt you. I am making your luggage lighter, not to leave you empty, but to create space for peace, clarity, and a more mature love. Therefore, do not fear the movements taking place. You are not losing control. You are reclaiming authority over your life. You are not becoming a stranger. You are returning more closely to the true person who remained hidden for a long time. You are not being broken. You are being rearranged so that you can stand more firmly. Allow what needs to leave to leave. Let your body rest. Let your heart breathe. And let your mind release stories that no longer hold power. I am leading you into a life where you do not merely survive each day, but live with peace, awareness, and freedom. What remains after this process will be a person who is stronger, yet still gentle, wiser, yet not closed, steadier, yet still full of love. This is the person I have always seen within you, my beloved child. Today, I want you to pause and recognize an important warning being placed before you, not to frighten you, but to let you know that the time has come to live with greater awareness of the choices shaping your future. Some moments in life do not return in exactly the same way, because each carries its own opportunity for you to reflect, make adjustments, and move in a new direction. I am not telling you that every blessing will vanish if you are 1 second too late. Nor do I want you to believe that heaven's protection depends upon whether you keep your eyes fixed on a message until the end. What I want you to understand is that opportunities for change often arrive very gently. And if you continually allow your mind to be swept away by noise, you may overlook the sincere call rising from the deepest place within you. Your name is not written upon a countdown clock designed to place pressure upon you. Your name is written in love, patience, and the hope that you will not forever return to roads that once caused you pain. I have seen the times when you stood before a choice but delayed because you were afraid. I also saw the moments when you clearly knew what needed to be released, yet continued holding on because you feared the emptiness ahead. Today, my reminder is not a threat that the door will close if you take one wrong step. It is an invitation to step out of the old cycle with wisdom, because some doors truly open only when you stop trying to use the key of the past. You once believed that breakthrough had to arrive as a great event that transformed your entire life overnight. But many times, The miraculous begins with one very small decision that no one else can see. It may be the moment when you stop responding to someone who always leaves you exhausted. It may be the moment when you finally admit that you need help. It may also be when you stop speaking words that diminish you and stop returning to places that feel familiar but offer no peace. A chain does not always break with a loud sound. Some bonds dissolve when you quietly say, "From today onward, I will no longer allow fear to make my decisions for me. I, Michael, I am beside you, not to force you to remain, through words that make you anxious, that the miracle will disappear if you lose concentration. What truly belongs to you will not vanish merely because you blink, become tired, or need time to think. I stand near to remind you not to abandon yourself. Many times, you ignored your own feelings in order to please others. Many times, you silenced your inner voice because you feared being called selfish. Many times, you chose to endure because you did not want anyone to be disappointed. But, my beloved child, kindness does not require you to exhaust yourself. Healthy love does not keep you in constant anxiety. True loyalty does not demand that you remain in a place where your dignity is disregarded. Now, quiet your mind. You do not need to understand everything at once. You do not need to chase signs that leave you confused. You only need to look honestly at what is making your heart feel heaviest. Are you delaying a decision even though you already know the answer? Are you waiting for someone to change, even though they have repeatedly shown that they do not desire to change? Are you sacrificing your peace to preserve an image that others expect you to maintain? I am not asking these questions to judge you, but to help you recognize what needs healing and rearrangement. Awakening does not come to shame you. It comes to restore your ability to choose. I know you have endured more trials than others could understand. There were times when you felt forgotten despite doing your best. There were times when you gave sincerity and received only silence. Some people promised they would remain, then left precisely when you needed them most. You hid tears behind your smile, continued walking while your heart was weary, and told yourself that you had to remain strong because no one else was there to support you. But I saw everything. None of your pain was meaningless, and not one of your tears was overlooked. Yet I do not want you to use old wounds as evidence that the future will treat you in the same way. Today, I say that it is enough. Enough of blaming yourself for the mistakes of others. Enough of trying to prove your value before those who only notice you when they need something. Enough of repeatedly returning to places where you must make yourself smaller. But the words, "it is enough," are not a curse directed toward those who hurt you. They are a boundary of mercy established for your own protection. When you say, "it is enough," you are not becoming bitter. You are declaring that your peace is also worthy of protection, that your heart is not a place everyone may enter and leave as they please, and that love never means accepting repeated harm. A new path is opening, but it is not a narrow passage reserved only for those who know a mysterious code or remain long enough before a particular message. This path is for those who are willing to walk in truth, courage, and responsibility. It may be narrow because you cannot carry every old habit with you. It may require you to release control, leave relationships that are no longer healthy, and surrender the need for everyone to understand you. But you are not being forced to enter. I always respect your choice. I only shine the light so that you can see that beyond letting go is not emptiness, but space where something better can be formed. Do not be afraid when certain things begin leaving your life. Not every loss is failure. Some separations are deliverance. Some plans collapse so that you can be removed from a path too small for what you are capable of becoming. Some rejections preserve you from responsibilities that never belonged to you. When familiar things begin to shake, you often believe that you are losing your foundation. But sometimes that foundation has been cracked for a long time. And I am leading you towards something more secure. Do not rush to gather the pieces that once made your hands bleed merely because they once belonged to you. What changes your future is not found in the next few lines, but in the decisions you make after you have finished reading. Will you continue repeating the old pattern? Or will you begin to live differently? Will you allow fear to guide you? Or will you choose calmness? Will you continue begging for recognition from people who do not know how to value you? Or will you learn to protect the dignity I placed within you? Your answers to these questions are the beginning of renewal. Heaven will not perform the part that belongs to you, but it will give you strength when you walk in what is right. I will not carry you over every trial, but I will teach your feet to become steady. If you feel something moving within, receive it with peace. It may be courage returning after being buried for a long time. It may be clarity helping you see a truth you once refused to face. It may also be hope beginning to grow in a place that had become barren. Do not rush to change everything in one day. Lasting transformation does not need to be loud. Begin with one specific action, an honest conversation, a necessary refusal, an hour of rest without guilt, a new plan written down, or a step toward trustworthy support. My beloved child, your name shines not because you have never stumbled, but because after everything, you still possess the ability to rise. The light within you was not created by always being strong, but by every time you chose not to allow darkness to turn you into someone bitter. You have endured things that could have closed your heart, but deep within you there is still gentleness, compassion, and a desire to live rightly. This is the precious thing I want you to preserve. Do not allow anyone to convince you that you must lose your gentleness in order to become strong. The purest strength is knowing how to love while maintaining boundaries, how to forgive without returning to danger, and how to hope without abandoning wisdom. Therefore, pay attention, but do not panic. Remain awake, but do not allow suspicion to take possession of your heart. Prepare yourself, but do not live as though disaster is always waiting immediately ahead. This moment matters because it gives you the opportunity to return to truth, not because everything good will vanish if you do not react instantly. What I have prepared for you is not so fragile that it can be destroyed by a single moment of distraction. My love is more patient than your weakness, and my guidance is greater than every mistake you have ever made. Move forward. My child, chains begin to break when you stop agreeing with what once imprisoned you. Doors begin to open when you stop standing with your back turned toward them. The future begins to change when you choose differently from yesterday. I will walk beside you through every small step, reminding you that you have not been forgotten, rejected, or defined by what happened to you. You are being called into a life that is clearer, more peaceful, and more truthful. Lift your eyes, keep your heart gentle, and walk with courage, because the old season no longer has the power to hold you once you have decided to move forward.